right, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Outcast with Buzz and Juice, presented by Sports Mockery.
The Juice Man. Juice.
I didn't even get to do it yet. I was just saying, I am your man, Buzz, and to my left is...
The Juice Man. Juice.
There you go, the Juice Man, man. Awesome. That's
How you doing, Buzz?
I'm great today, man. How are you doing?
Well, just happy to be here again, talking Chicago sports. It's going to be a good show. We got some Hawks talk this time, actually, which is diving into it. They just had their draft, so we're going to preview some stuff. We're going to definitely get in with some insiders, kind of some writers as well from Sports Mockery, and maybe some guests along the way. So, yeah, we're going to do some Blackhawks today and preview the show there for us, Buzz.
All right, so today, make sure that you are following us at SM Outcasts on Twitter to get all of our updates on what we're doing. We're starting to do some more live videos for you guys. We've been asked to do that from countless people. We're going to start doing it more. It's actually been kind of fun. So we'll be doing more live videos over at the at SM Outcast page. So go give that a follow on Twitter to find out what we're doing. I know that we did have the Outcasts YouTube channel. That is now not going to exist. But thank you to everybody that
found us, followed us,
and followed us right away.
Watching the videos. We did see some good views, considering that nobody knew
we started
where to
from the
find
ground
us
up
for a while there. So yeah, make sure you go follow the Sports Mockery page on YouTube. And
the link for that is actually on our pinned tweet on our at SM Outcast account.
So you guys can actually watch the videos that you watch on YouTube underneath that, as well as tons of other stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the reporters and a lot of the writers that we have for the Sports Mockery team that will do quick posts every once in a while with their thoughts on them just standing in front of a camera. And also, down the line, we will be doing Bears tailgates, and the draft video that we cut up, or in the process of cutting up, will be up there as well. So you'll have more Outcast avenues and things to watch other than just the podcasts.
Right. Also, being on us all falling under the same roof on the Sports Mockery YouTube, you'll be able to see our brethren over at Pinwheels and Ivy talking Chicago baseball, White Sox, Cubs, and anything else in between to do with baseball, that is. So that's really cool. Make sure you are checking out the Mockery Podcast Network. You can find us on SoundCloud. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Google Play. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us anywhere. So be sure to give that stuff, give us a listen over on those. And then if you have not yet, please go to iTunes. Give us a 5-star rating and a comment down below on why you chose to listen to us. That'd be fantastic. We'd love that. And then also, very important, I know I've asked you guys to do it before. I'm sorry to have to ask you to do it again. Just trust me. Please go ahead and go over to the Sports Mockery YouTube and subscribe to that also, guys. That would be fantastic if you could do that for us. That'd be great. So diving into the show, we're going to be, like he was saying earlier, we're going to be hitting all of our Chicago sports. We're going to be hitting Bulls. We're going to be hitting some NBA talk, too, because there was some hot stuff that was going on that I want to talk about.
Yeah, today's been just a whirlwind of news.
Yeah, well, there's stuff in our outline that I didn't even bring up, but it was just dropping, so I think that we should probably bring that up today.
Definitely.
We have our NBA talk, of course. We have one of our favorite segments, definitely our favorite segment right now because we're in the season, our MLB Roundup. Very excited for that. We're introducing a new segment today, too, which is cool. Actually, 2 new segments are being introduced to the show today. We have our introducing hot takes. Hot take is something that we're going to, it's a hot take, man. We're going to say it, we're going to believe it, we're going to ride with it, and then if we're proven wrong, we can eat crow in front of you guys here on the camera. And then
we should really have some type of meal we have to eat, and that would be the eat crow. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, my God, dude. Jalapeno.
There we go. We'll get a big jar of jalapenos from Sam's Club. We'll put them down here every time we.
I'm talking getting a fresh one from Burcott's.
Okay, we can do that then.
Just eating it.
Okay.
If we're wrong, I would love to do that. And you can't drink milk. We have to drink citrusy beer. What a catch!
Absolutely.
We're watching.
We got the White Sox game
in the background here. But yeah, cannot drink milk. We have to drink something citrusy to hurt ourselves even more.
I'm down.
I love that, man. I live for that stuff, man. But yeah, we're having the hot takes introduced today, and then something that me and Juice were kicking the tires on a little bit ago. It's called the Outcast of the Week. I know we all consider ourselves outcasts, our fans and us, but this is like the Outcast of the Week is someone who did something so stupid or said something so ignorant that they are just an outcast of the week.
Yeah, so we're gonna. I was in the process of getting you printer ink for your printer, and we're gonna hang these people up around in the studio here, and then take a picture each week and post it on our Twitter.
I love that idea.
And it's going to be cool because, like, maybe eventually down the line we can get the Outcast of the Week, which this will be our very first Outcast of the Week, or, like, ever. So maybe we could actually get him to sit in between us, and you could see his own face.
Did you know, just for real quick, that Carson's is going out of business?
I did. Yeah.
Well, we should go get one of them dumbass mannequins, dude.
Ooh, that would
and prop it right here. And the Outcast of the Week can sit with us
in between us
every week.
Genius idea.
Thanks, man.
You don't have very many good ideas,
no, I don't.
Today that you are just
right.
batting 1,000 today.
I'm doing my best, you know. But how funny would I always did want to buy a couple of those mannequins though on the real, because you know the garden in the backyard. Like instead of getting a scarecrow, I have like a mannequin, because that would scare people away too.
Yeah, I find those to be so weird. Obviously, we were walking through. We went to the mall. It was about 2 weeks ago.
Why did I even ask you if you knew that it was going out? You were with us.
Yeah, So we were at the mall and we were walking through. And the weirdest thing to me is when they have like the mannequins that are dressed up.
Oh, like non-clothed.
Yeah, and
right.
like the level of the detail? Yeah, like the detail that they go to.
That's what got me too, because with the woman one, the gray one, it had nipples and everything. I'm like, God damn.
Right, like, which I get, I guess, kind of, because like if you're buying like lingerie, like
I get it.
You want to see if like the nips popping or something like that. But I mean, to me, I know us being guys, we wouldn't give a shit.
Well, it upsets me every time I walk in there, is because you know the dude mannequins are way more toned than me. I got the dad bod.
Right. Will you ever see that Seinfeld? I know you're not a big Seinfeld guy.
I'm not.
But there's a Seinfeld where I think Elaine looks like the mannequin.
Oh, no.
It's freaking hysterical.
That's fantastic.
I'm going to plug that. I'm going to actually watch that episode later because that's just so funny to me.
Don't you have all the seasons?
I have all the
seasons.
I'm a big Seinfeld guy.
Yeah, I know you were.
Yeah.
Well, you love that kind of stuff. The only show that you ever really got me into huge was definitely The Office.
Yeah, and I mean, that's down like the same kind of level of like humor, though.
Right, it is. Absolutely.
Like to me, and then you're really into your
Arrested Development and stuff like that.
And see, like that's just stuff
Creek.
I really didn't like. I didn't watch a lot of Arrested Development.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
And I know I should. Everybody tells me I should.
That dry humor just gets me. I don't know why, man.
I know. See, that's what's funny. It's right down my alley.
Yeah, it is. That's why I'm surprised you don't like it. That's why I always bring that up to you. I don't understand how you can't get into it.
All right, well, let's get into some sports talk.
Right,
obviously, first we're going to start with our first segment today, which is always when we start, it's crack one open, and you jumped the gun. A little quick on the crack. See, he was really excited to drink this one because I've been talking about it the whole time.
That, and I was batting 1,000. I had to bring myself back down to earth.
So last week we were with Revolution. This week we're with Hop Butcher. It's a pale ale here from Chicago. Obviously, we only drink Chicago beer. So, but that being said, if we have some viewers that want to send us some beer, we will drink it during the podcast, and we'll plug you on it. And then we'll say, hey, I'm from, I know we have a fan from Boise State, Brandon, who's been with us for a long time. If he sends us beer, hey, they're from Brandon, Boise State, and we'll give it a rate. So this is Hop Butcher for the World. That's the brewery. This is a pale ale, mosaic hopped. Fantastic. I had it last year. Tastes along the lines of last year. It's electric orange, all mosaic hop pale ale. A juicy tropical fruit ode to the U.S. of A. Buzz, I know you took a sip of it. What's your opinion on that beer?
I love the citrusy taste when I actually it gets on my palate. I love the citrusy taste of it, and the aftertaste is tropical. I love the taste of it, and it's not bitter at all. It's actually a very good beer. I'm guaranteeing when you and I, after the episode today, when we go outside and hang out, that this is a beer I want to be drinking on a hot day.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites. To me, I always envision, when America gained their independence, we were battling against, England and Britain. We went into battle. And I felt like after they won, they popped one of these open. And they doused themselves in it.
The timeline might be off on that.
What?
Them drinking the beer.
I don't know about that. You
All
don't
right.
believe in time travel? Come on.
No, I do.
Come on,
I think Matt Groening's a time traveler. That's an episode for another day, but I almost 99% sure he's a time traveler.
I'm just saying, man, this is a beer
That's very good beer.
I feel like before battle, after battle, they were dousing it, playing We're the Champions in the background. God, I love America.
America, F yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to dive into some sports talk. That was that. Let's crack one open. First, let's rate it.
Rating it. I got to get my pen. Where the hell did I put my pen?
Oh, man, here. I always got to...
Oh,
You got it in your
It was in my hat. My bad. I'm going to actually give that, you know what, to be honest with you, dude, I really like the taste of that. I'm actually going to give it a plain 8.
Plain 8.
Yeah, plain 8,
Okay.
dude. Just straight up 8. So I'm going to log that real quick
8,
for me.
So you got a plain 8.
Yeah.
Even number, rookie score.
Yeah, I'm going to give
as Prez would say.
Well, you know what? Prez has nothing to do with me. I'm cooler than him.
I'm going to give this an 8.3. This one is
8.3.
one of my favorites. Each and every year they come out with this beer. It's. If you worked with me over at Benny's, I know we have a lot of people who follow our podcast.
Thank you.
I always make sure that I pick at least 2 of these up. So, John, over there at Benny's Orland Park, thank you. Save me another one. It was fantastic. Just as good as always.
So we gave it an 8.2 collectively?
8.2 collectively, my man.
All right, that's the highest rated
well, we
one
only
out of
got
the
2 in there. Obviously,
well, I was trying to make the list
peach
sound
one.
cooler than it was. So, I mean, come on.
Once we get to like 30 episodes, we'll be like, all right, what's the best of the 30?
Right. Okay.
You know, and then that'll be actually, we should drink all 30 at once, do a taste test, and then we'll rate it again and see
just
which one we
taste
like.
it or drink the whole can?
No, just taste it. Or we can drink the whole can. That would be a heck of a podcast.
That'd be a fun one. Yeah. If you guys want to see that, let us know. All right, so jumping in here, we're going to get right into the Bulls like we usually do. We start with the Bulls. Takeaway from the draft party. Great time. It was great hanging out with Goose. It was great hanging out with what Goose is, a.k.a. at Bulls Scripted, our buddy Keith France. It was great hanging out with Mikey from Family Divided. My cousin Mike was there, which was fantastic. We met a lot of cool people, did a lot of cool interviews. The video will be out. It's just how we recorded it. We will probably never do it that way again.
No, never.
It broke down into like 50 separate videos, and like the audio files were separate, so it's like really hard. And we're not experts at chopping anything up. So like we're just working on that, trying to get through it. But it will be up, and you guys will see it. But the draft party was a great night. We had a good time. Benny the Bull touched my head, and he fed Juice here a piece of pizza.
Yeah, it threw it right in my face.
He didn't throw it in your face, dude. He shoved it in your mouth.
I know, it was something.
I mean, and I would have, I mean, you can't even complain about that.
No, you just got to just take it.
Benny's a damn legend. I don't care if it's a different guy in the costume. He's still a legend.
Yeah, that was fun because we got there really early.
Oh,
but
we were
they
the
had
first
that
ones
roped
there.
off like spot with all like that pizza and stuff. I was like, man, I wish that was us. Like,
oh, that was like some. I wonder if those people paid for that, or those were people that we should have been talking to. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who cares?
We were with our fans.
If they are watching this, though, the people in the roped off section, way to draw attention to yourselves, jerks.
Yeah, right.
God, man. Like, yeah, you want to be in like
you
those
think
are the
you're
people.
a better
Those,
citizen than me.
Those are the people that go like, oh, I'm a huge Bulls fan. I'm up in the box in the 300 level. No, real fans are in the damn stands.
Yeah,
and don't get me wrong, I
and it
won't
was
sit in the box
funny
for
too.
free beer.
Like the minute I tried to because we did try to get interviews from those people, and the minute we tried to ask them for interviews, all of them were no, we're good.
Yeah. Also, for any fans that went there or any people that went to the Bulls draft party and had like no idea who the Bulls were drafting, you were just there. You took a seat from somebody who gives a shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of fun though to we got a couple of those same people.
Oh yeah, we got a couple of them on the video,
which would be funny because you can totally tell like the level of knowledge. But not to say that it was fun. We had a good time.
It's just it's just funny to kind of hate around and joke around here.
We ended up at White Castle at 11 o'clock at night, which felt like 4 in the morning.
Yeah,
because the train ride was, or not the train,
we had to drive Goose back all the way opposite of where we were going.
Which he walked 4 miles.
Dude was sweating bullets when we saw him. We should have just went and picked him up.
I know.
I told him that
we
too.
would have.
But anyway, he was sweating bullets. It was hilarious. Then we get there. We get there, and then our videographer, my cousin Mike, and then Juice over here start getting vodka sodas. I've never had those. Had a couple of those, and we started drinking beer. It became a long day. Ended up at White Castle, so it happens.
Yeah, not as epic as your last White Castle visit, though.
You know what? We got time. Go ahead and tell the last White Castle story if you want to.
So we were out.
We were at a Bulls playoff game.
That's right.
The one where we got killed by the Celtics. Correct?
Yes, that was game 6.
Yeah,
something like that.
No, yeah,
it might have been game 7.
No, it wasn't game 7. What? I don't know.
Whatever. So we're at the Bulls playoff game.
Yeah, it was 6. You're right. It was 6.
We get pretty lit for that. And we're on our way back. And we went out to local bar. We're sitting at the local bar. And it was fun. And Buzz turns to me and goes, I want some Whiteys. Which, that's never. Like you never ever ask me for anything like that.
No.
So we get in the car, we go to Whitey's, we get there, and he orders like 15 burgers and like 4 fries and
Sack of potatoes.
yeah. And what was the other? You had a milkshake
and and mac and cheese
mac
bites.
and cheese bites. And he ate the whole thing. Like, he's a little guy. Like, but it was crazy, man. Like, we're out at 5 in the morning, so that was the most epic White Castle. I've never seen anybody eat that much who is so little.
I'm 5'9", 145 pounds, man.
And you don't like to eat.
No, I don't eat
really
fast.
in general. You're not a big eater.
No, I eat like once a day, dude.
Yeah,
so I'm like a camel. My wife says.
It was
store it.
Freaking hysterical to watch him just plow down like as much White Castle as I've ever seen anybody digest.
I didn't feel good the next day.
Yeah, it was a fun time. So that was our story. So we ended up at White Castle. We had to drive Keith back. I can't believe he walked 4 miles, but that's another story for another day.
Oh, absolutely.
We're rambling here.
Yeah, it's all right. That's what we do, man.
Fun.
That's what we do.
So,
so
draft party was fun.
Draft party was great. I just want to get your thoughts real quick on not moving up and passing up on Michael Porter Jr. while we have you here.
Well, they had.
Oh, you're going to be here. I mean,
well,
while we
I
have
was
the
gonna
topic
say,
here.
I'm not leaving.
Well, we have the topic here.
I know what you meant.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but they had the medicals, and if you're looking at the Bulls through the glasses that I am, to me, they've struggled in keeping players healthy for at least a decade. It's been very tough for them.
Well,
and
with
even
Luol Deng and his what was that spinal issue thing, and then Joakim Noah, D. Rose.
If they looked at that and said, "Hey, man, it might be okay, but we're going to need to be creative with the medical staff and give him days off," and I just think for where the Bulls are set now, that's maybe not the pick. And this is the thing that I kind of, as I stepped in the moment, they pick Wendell Carter Jr. and you're like, okay. But then when you step back from it and you're a little upset and then you step back, you kind of realize that, A, they did the medical research on him because he released it to them. Which, to me, when you look back at it in hindsight, Michael Porter Jr. was trying to identify who the weak medical staff at the poker table was and hand them the realistically the medical records.
See, that's awesome because you had never said that to me before right now. That makes perfect sense.
Like, looking back at it, that's what... If you were going to hand any team your medicals and you had a back issue, who are you handing them to?
Right.
It's the Bulls. Like that, and I'm dogging the Bulls medical staff because they've had this type of reputation around the league that they don't do it the right way. You know, that they've struggled to keep players healthy. And while I think that maybe Porter is probably more healthier than he, we believe to be, the Bulls at that pick probably couldn't take a risk like that.
Well, with the rumors coming out that night when we passed on him that he might be redshirted.
Yeah,
I mean,
what are we doing?
We want to win. No, and it's not that we want to win now. Obviously, we know we don't have that team to win now, but we want a team to start being built together now.
Yeah. So and when you look back at it in hindsight too, if you have a team that's built, you obviously see. And we're going to dive into it with the NBA talk. What's going on with this carousel of superstar players here who don't want to play in the cities that they are playing for currently, between your LeBron James or Kawhi Leonard's, your Paul George, obviously Kyrie Irving is the $1 million question as well, because if LeBron goes there, Kyrie's not staying. He left because of Bron.
Are you talking Celtics? Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, the Celtics are the $1 million question too, because they also have Gordon Hayward. While he's not a superstar, very good player, I wonder if they're going to move contracts around like that, but that'll be later. I'm just saying, if you're the Bulls, you're trying to get as many contributors as you can in the shortcoming. That way you give yourself a chance for these KDs, for these LeBron. Obviously, LeBron James is not coming here in this free agency, but I'm on the opinion that LeBron James is going to take another 2-year deal no matter where he goes and reevaluate the situation in 2 years.
Absolutely.
I think that's the smart play.
Well, that's
for
what
him.
they've all been doing, though. Like, the superstars are taking the 2-year contracts here, and they're they'll opt out, they'll get paid again, do a 1-year contract with a player option for a second year. That's what they do. But with the whole Michael Porter Jr. thing, my opinion is like I told you right on the podcast before, I was 99.9% sure that the Bulls were going to take him, and then all of a sudden draft day, they just start saying like, oh, the Bulls aren't interested, which is fine. That's fine. I said also in the last podcast that I would be super happy if the Bulls could potentially complete their starting lineup in this draft, and I think that is something that we did.
Yeah, and that'll transition us into our thoughts on the picks with Wendell Carter Jr. and with Chandler Hutchison. I think that the Bulls picked up two guys who may have been overlooked in their college careers via, obviously, Carter with Bagley coming in after he had already signed at Duke, and his mom talking about how, hey, my son was supposed to be the guy, and then they got this top 5 recruit in Marvin Bagley.
You can't really blame Duke because Bagley did reclassify. No,
and that has nothing to do with, obviously Coach K is trying to bring in as much talent as he can to fill out that roster.
Absolutely.
But if you're looking at it from a Bulls fan's eye, you should say maybe there's more to Wendell Carter Jr. that meets the eye that was shown at Duke, because he was playing with a bunch of guys who went at the top of the draft. And obviously, they had 4 or 5 guys go in the draft this year?
Yeah, they did.
Trent, and they had
Trent Duvall, and Bagley, Grayson Allen. Yeah. So that's 4, and then Wendell Carter. That's 4.
Right.
That's 4. So I mean, what my thing is here, and this is where I'm going to introduce, if it's okay with you, I'm going to introduce hot takes.
Sure.
Just real quick before we even hit on Hutch, since we're already talking WCJ here. So, hot takes, like I told you guys, is something that I believe, and then if I'm wrong about it, we're gonna have to mark this down. I'm gonna write it actually in our Outcast notes here on Google Docs. But I got a hot take right now that Wendell Carter Jr. is gonna be beloved by this city by the All-Star game. And this kid this year is gonna average at least 14 to 15 points and 8 rebounds a game, and he's gonna be a perfect complement next to Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah.
I also want to throw one more thing in there. I think that we're going to see his and this has nothing to do with the hot takes part. Everything before was a hot takes part. This is just a prediction. I do think that we're going to see a lot of his mid-range game more than we got to see when he was playing with Marvin Bagley. And I do think that he's going, like C. Red Fred said, he's going to be a better three-point shooter than a lot of people give him credit for, because he only took, I think, 12 or 13, but he shot 41%.
And I know that Fred had said that. But if you look around the lineup, I necessarily don't want him shooting threes. Am I going to say that I won't let him shoot from 3? No. But for me, his assets and his skill set is best served in the mid-range game and with the pick and pop. And to me, if you read between the lines with what Pax was saying at the end of the year, with Chris Dunn needing to finish at the rim, this is a slam dunk pick for them if they're going to implement a pick-and-roll offense with him and Dunn. Because he's going to be able to hit that shot at the top of the key like Rollo does a lot, but maybe more hit my head there. Maybe on a more consistent basis than Rollo does.
Right.
And maybe even farther out so he can push the defense up. Should he be shooting threes? I'm okay with it. Do I think that...
I don't think the offense needs
to... But see, you have so many three-point shooters on that team already. You brought in Hutch, who I think he's an improving three-point shooter, who can score from the outside. You have Levine, who's going to take his fair share, and you already have Lowry, who has shown he's able to step out. To me, those are the guys I want shooting from deep.
Well, like I said, I don't think that we need to draw up plays for him necessarily to be hitting threes, but I just like that when we have, hypothetically here, say that, we know what Dunn and Levine can do. We know they can get to the rim pretty much at will. Let's see how Hutchison works out. Is he going to be the starter? I don't know yet. I do see Wendell Carter Jr. coming in and taking a spot from Robin. Robin will stay as a mentor on how to be in the NBA, but Wendell Carter Jr. is going to be a very good talent at the 5.
That's the other half of it, too. Robin Lopez is going to be a hell of an asset to trade at the deadline this year.
You know what? How I'm reading about him, I don't think they do it. I think they pay that man, let him and be a mentor on a rebuilding team.
I overlook a lot of the mentor stuff. To me... That's the stuff your coach should be doing. And I know that these guys all have these older brothers throughout their first year, but to me, that you could sign a guy like that on the low.
Right, I agree with that. I'm just saying how I took their statements.
If somebody comes to you and Rollo's having a hell of a year and needs a big man, and they're willing to part with maybe a low first round pick, early second round for next year, the goal for me as a Bulls fan is I hope they get younger.
Well, me too. Well, we will have a average age of a starting lineup at 20.
Yeah, no,
1.5.
Right, right. It'll be young already. I'm just saying, any asset you could add into this, at the low, young high upside potential guy maybe in the second round or like a low first, I'm all for it, because to me this looks like a rebuild for the long haul opposed to a quick rebuild like we've seen sometimes with the Bulls.
Well, and that's what I love to see when Paxton says, like, I want to evaluate my talent. And I wrote an article about this on sportsmockery.com. I don't like the fact that people get so irritated about it. Is like, we finally picked a direction, and I'm going to hold my own. Even with, I understand your frustration of us not winning, but guys, realize that there's 28 other franchises that aren't coming close to winning either, because it's been Cleveland and Golden State the last few years.
Right.
I'm willing to take my time with a bunch of 21, 22, 23-year-olds, get them molded together, and when that phase of basketball is done, when the super teams are like, Golden State might be getting a little bit older and falling out, it's going to be time for us to strike. That's my whole point here. And I don't know, that's just where I sit with it. I don't know if you have anything more to say about WCJ before we get into Hutchison.
Yeah, I just think that the way that this whole draft played out, the top guys that we wanted to see were like a Mo Bamba went before we could get to that. We weren't going to trade up assets either to get Mo Bamba.
Because I'm not mad about that.
No, and I'm not either. And I'm just going to round out the draft here. Michael Porter Jr., they had the medical reports on him.
He fell to the last pick in the lottery.
Right. So, and went to a team in the Nuggets that could take a chance on him right now because
they're good.
They're good, right. So, could be a good fit. Obviously, we'll kick ourselves if, Wendell Carter ends up being,
a bust.
Right. But in the moment, I love the attitude that the kid has already shown in this few short days that, hey, man, I should have been picked much higher than I was. The only reason I wasn't was because I played on an all-star team in college. I know that his mom kind of said that, but I know that I share a lot of things with my mother. And my mother, to me, probably knows me the best, So when she says it, I kind of take it as his own words because, hey, she knows what he's going through. I'm sure that there were conversations after the draft, after Bagley signed with Duke, and it's got to be frustrating to have a lot of talent like that. And while he was out too, you could look back at the flips for that. He had some of his best games when Bagley was hurt.
Well, yeah, he was almost, dare I say, dominant.
Right.
Looked really good. And the potential's there. You didn't get to see it because you have an offense focused around their star freshman and being Marvin Bagley, and who else, bud? Their star senior being Grayson Allen. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm very optimistic about the pick. Am I going to tell the viewers and everybody who's listening to us on iTunes or watching us on YouTube right now that I thought that it was going to be Wendell Carter Jr. when we got there? No. Me, Juice here, and our boy Emmett, who, you know what, Emmett, just shout out to you real quick, man. Thank you for coming and, hanging out with us. Emmett's the first guy that, besides Chris, the owner, that we got to meet from Sports Mockery, and Emmett's just he's good people, man. Dude's fresh as hell. I really enjoyed getting to hang out with him. But no one knew, or not knew, but anticipated, the people who are diehard, that it was going to be Wendell Carter Jr., and I'm very happy that it is Wendell Carter Jr. I'm very optimistic about it. And we'll see where we go from here. I think that he'll have games where it's like, you remember when Lowry dropped 33 against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden? So think about this. We're going to be talking about, hey, remember when Wendell Carter dropped 28 against the Kings or something like that?
We're going to have those, and I think that he's going to contribute more off the bat defensively than a lot of us think off. Obviously, him being at Duke was tough because he had obviously a stacked lineup. So I think that the Bulls and maybe fans, we underestimated Wendell for a little bit here. I'll be happy if the Bulls end up with a good player that they got, and they're building through Lowry now. So that's the
you need to take people that are going to complement Lowry market, and that's something that we need to do. Speaking as a Bulls fan, and I think that we got the perfect amount of people to do that. I think that we got oh hey, we're live. What up?
Yeah, going live.
What up, Gur? I think that we got the perfect amount of compliments for him on this team. You have a point guard that can drive, get to the rim at will, so he can kick it to you because defenses are going to have to collapse into him. Zach LaVine, same thing. He gets if we retain him. which I'm sure we will.
Yeah, he'll be back in the Bulls
But
uniform.
we have him get to the rim. But cool thing about Zach too, what can he do, man? He can step out and he can do what? He
and
can
create
hit
his
the
own
three.
shot.
Exactly.
And that's the thing too. When you look at what the Bulls have as of right now, you need a guy like Zach. And Zach's, I think that they truly believe in Zach. As much as they're talking via media units saying that they don't believe in Zach and they've thrown this whole. I think that's a whole ploy to kind of maybe drive down the price and to throw people off on what they really think he should get paid. It's going to be interesting to see what he commands in the market, but I think at this point, if you don't re-sign him, it really makes the Jimmy trade look a lot different.
Well, you know what? To be honest with you, like I do think that Lowry's going to be the truth, and I do think Chris Dunn's going to be the truth. But that trade was centered around Zach LaVine and the 7th pick. Dunn was kind of he's the 5th pick in the draft the previous year. Tibbs is going to Tibbs, and I'm going to say that needs to be a goddamn T-shirt, and I want that with our logo on it.
There we go. Tibbs is going to
Tibbs, and you know what? Tibbs chose the easy way out. He chose the easy way out with Zach LaVine, and I really hope the Bulls, and I wrote about this again on Sports Mockery, I really hope the Bulls don't choose an easy way out with Zach LaVine. They need to keep him. They need to retain him. This is a full rebuild. Do not trade a 23-year-old shooting guard who's a 2-time slam dunk winner, who shoots from 37% from three,
who's a freak
athletically and has a couple fundamental problems with good coaching. Because, and I know people sometimes say coaches don't matter, but no, with good coaching and motivation, he could be good on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I'm totally with it. I just don't want to give up on Zach yet because based on how many games he played in the second half. Because honestly, if you do trade him, you ended up dumping Butler for marketing at that point, essentially. I mean, I know Dunn's been very solid,
right?
But Laurie's the guy in that pick at that point. You know, that's the basis of your trade. And we do believe in Laurie Markkinen, but to say that, hey, you could have had another guy at that in Zach, and I really do think that Zach's going to end up being a real contributor for the team. I think he is a top 10, at least, shooting guard in the NBA.
I think, honestly, honest to God, I think that I know if they offer him a max contract, if the Kings actually do this, we're just going to jump into this right now. One thing I want to say about Chandler Hutchinson before I get completely into this, Chandler Hutchinson has great lateral quickness. He can catch and shoot. He can shoot. He can get to the rim. I understand he's a 4-year player. It's not as sexy as a pick being at number 22. Do I think he's going to come out and be an all-star? I don't know. I don't know that. Do I think he's going to come out and be serviceable and be able to start in our starting lineup and do the things that we need him to do? Yes, I do. Yeah. I believe that about Chandler Hutchinson.
So we just went live there for a little bit of the Bulls talk. We're going to tease it.
Are we still live?
Yeah, we were still live. So, we teased it there for a little bit. The video will be uploaded probably tonight on iTunes.
Tonight or tomorrow.
Tonight or tomorrow on iTunes. Also SoundCloud.
YouTube.
YouTube will be probably tomorrow. So teased it a little bit. Make sure you follow the SM Outcast page. Thanks, guys.
So we just went live there for a little bit. With the whole Zach LaVine and we need to retain him. That's my point. Chandler Hutchinson, I gave you the specs on him. Again, I wrote an article about him too on Sports Mockery a while back that the promise heard around Chicago. But our Bulls talk, we're going to wrap that up there. We're optimistic and we're happy.
On Chandler Hutchinson.
Hit what you got to hit.
I really liked that kid after watching.
He's probably
he's probably one of the only guys I actually went back and watched deep into because I was intrigued at the fact that the Bulls made a promise to him at 22. So
he denies that too.
Yeah, he's full of it. He's full of it. He knew. There's no reason to not work out. And that's the other thing too that kind of at the moment I was like, what did he put something over on the Bulls? And that's why I kind of started to dive in more deeply into why he was just kind of sticking and not working out to try to move up the board. But as I watched this kid more and more and more, I was enamored with the body type, his first step, his ability to get. He's a drive first type of player, and he's developing his 3-point shot as well. I think that this kid, and I don't want to hot take myself out to where I got to have a jalapeno yet because I want to see him play summer league.
I live for that shit. I want to eat a jalapeno.
Right. But see, I want to see him play summer league first. But I think this kid is going to be a huge hit and a huge hit for the Bulls organization.
They always do good in the 20s.
Yeah,
Nico, Bobby, Taj, and you know what? Like Jimmy at 30. I know he's not technically he's not in the 20s, but you guys know what I mean. At the end of the lottery, or at the end of the draft, like later picks in the draft. It seems like Gar and Pax really do their homework on these kind of guys.
Yeah, it's cool to. I like his length. I think that defensively he's going to grow into a great defender. I think that once he learns the pace of the game, because I think that out of all the picks, obviously only 2 with Wendell Carter's going to be able to come in and play to the pace immediately. Chandler may struggle in the beginning playing at Boise State, not playing the biggest games against the biggest names. It might take him a while to adjust to the speed of it, and maybe in that sense that's the only point of the pick that I'm a little bit concerned with. But this kid has the body type, the athletic ability, and the drive. His coach was on 670 The Score. I think it was 3 or 4 days ago I was listening.
Boo.
And he was talking about his ability to get better and to become the leader and to mature as a basketball player, because it takes so long to realize to take the speed of the game and to take your brain and to think it through and to know that at the moment, hey, I got to go left here. I got to cut this angle off. And his coach was diving in deep on that, saying, hey, this kid has the will and the drive and the smarts to get better. And home run to me. I'm not going to say that he's going to be a huge contributor yet, because obviously the pace of the game really is going to worry me, because he didn't play the best competition at Boise State. But I do think this kid has the athletic ability to adjust once he figures out how to play the NBA game to be a contributor each and every night.
Agreed 100%. So leaving our Bulls talk, let us know what you guys think on Twitter by tweeting at us or commenting down below here on YouTube on the Sports Mockery YouTube page. Let us know what you think about those thoughts down beneath, if we're stupid, if we're smart, whatever you want to call us. And just getting into NBA talk, we're just going to touch on this. It's going to be little. It's going to be very minimal, because we got stuff to do. But Paul George opting out and Melo opting in for the Thunder. Worst case scenario for a Thunder fan, agreed?
Yeah, well, you kind of got to figure that was coming anyway if you're a Thunder fan.
Everybody kind of knew it was going to happen, but worst possible scenario.
Where's he getting more money from? If you're Melo, this is your last big payday, clearly.
And he'll take that cool $27 million ride to the sunset.
He always was.
He's always been about the money.
Who he is.
Always been about the money.
So,
bitch.
Yeah, I was so mad when he didn't come here, but now in hindsight,
which time?
Looking back at it, well, the one with Derek, when
Derek actually showed up at the place and did what he had to. Yeah, right.
When they did the whole banner outside of the United Center.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Put his feet up and screw him. So, yeah, it's to me, like, looking at all this free agency, to me, Paul George is the key to all of it. Which, if you look back, like, how the Miami Heat, the Heatles per se, formed, the weird part was everybody was trying to find out where LeBron was going to go, but it really ended up being, Chris Bosh committing to Dwayne Wade, and then LeBron saying, all right, I probably am not going to beat that team. I'll join it. They obviously had this idea in their head
from Team USA is when they had that idea and they had to join up.
But the fact that it all came together and Chris Bosh jumped first, and obviously he comes out, he has this whole date set with the decision and all that. To me, history repeats itself, and Paul George to me is the key, because if he stays, let's say he stays in Oklahoma City, let's say he re-ups, doesn't go to L.A., and L.A. can't work out a deal to get Kawhi, because obviously maybe the Spurs don't want to trade him within the West. LeBron gets stuck holding what? You know what I'm saying?
LeBron, but he's got the life by the balls, though. See, I love how you tie these both in together, so we don't have to hit each one. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm very good at that.
That was very good. That was sexy. But, no, when it comes to LeBron, Kawhi might go here, or Kawhi might not go there, or he might do this, he might do that. Listen, he's got options.
Yeah,
if he wants to make the finals in the East,
but that's the thing,
he goes
too,
to Philly. If he wants to make the finals in the West, but call up Chris Paul, tell Chris Paul to tell Daryl Morey, get these dumbass contracts out of here, which he will be able to move.
Right.
And then we'll go and we'll take down the Warriors head on because we went to Game 7 with them and Chris Paul got hurt. You put LeBron over there, they're losing.
Yeah, I look at the Rockets and I was a big LeBron's going to the Rockets guy earlier on, but now I start to think about Chris Paul being at the age he is.
There's just so many options. That's my thing
see,
for
this
LeBron.
is my other thing for LeBron. LeBron has never been the person to make the decision himself. LeBron has watched what other people make decisions, and then he jumps on which decision they make. If you look at why he came back to Cleveland, and we know this, and we talked about this a long time ago, he came back to Cleveland because they got Kyrie Irving,
and Kevin Love.
They got Kevin Love, and they got all these big-name top prospects.
He didn't come back. He didn't come back to Cleveland.
He didn't come home
because
he came
wanted
back
to come home. He came back to a built team, and yeah, did it suck for little LeBron that nobody would go to Cleveland and play with him? Yeah, it did.
And that's
suck.
my opinion too on the Heat too. He didn't go to the Heat because the Heat were built. He went to the Heat because two superstars decided that they were going to play in Miami. He realized there's no income tax in Miami. He could make good money out there, live the college life that he talks about, because he always refers to those 4 years when he was with the Heat to his college years. And he was recruited there. So to me, this is just going to repeat itself. He is going to go with whatever team gets made for him.
I know I didn't write
he may
this in
be
that.
doing it through the back channels, but it's still being made with other players going there. He's not pulling the strings to me.
I know I didn't write this in the outline, and I hope you're cool with this.
Yeah,
Why don't you jump right? I know you are, man. You're so good looking all the time. God damn. Cheers to that. Cheers to
that. Hey,
cheers
and
to
America.
That. America. But read between the tweets, man. Let's introduce this right now. He holds the key. You just said it. He holds the key. He watches what other people do. Best opportunity for how he wins. Read between the tweets. One of our segments that we brought up last week. Do you want to see LeBron James in a Chicago Bulls uniform? Think about it. But think about it. Best chances to win, though.
So let's dive into it. What gets that conversation started for him to be here? To me,
the core, the young core.
Okay. See,
and if
to
you
me,
say,
that doesn't get it going. To me, it doesn't get it going.
As a fan, if you say you don't want him, you're full of shit and you're an idiot.
See, I think it takes...
Hot take.
I think it takes them trading Lauri Markkanen for Kawhi Leonard for him to even think about it. And at that point, you're only getting Kawhi Leonard for a guaranteed year.
And Kawhi isn't going to L.A. I don't see it because Pop is not.
That's where he wants to go.
That's where he wants to go, but Pop's not going to trade Kawhi Leonard to a Western Conference rival.
No, yeah, especially one who's competed when it comes to winning championships in the West, like 10, 15 years.
Why would Pop do that? Why? Pop's not this guy who's going to... I mean, obviously, we're probably seeing the last years of Pop with San Antonio, the last couple of years here, because I see after 2020 USA, he was going to be done, right?
Yeah,
I saw that article. But the point of the matter is... The point of the matter is here, LeBron holds the key on wherever he wants to go, and just like you said, what everybody else does, it'll fall into fruition. What's going to happen here, what's going to happen there.
Yeah,
but
it'll be interesting.
A young core with the Bulls would be interesting.
Yeah, but I just don't think that even gets. That's even on his radar.
First of all, that's why we call him a bitch. He don't want to live in Jordan's shadow.
Right, and that's exactly what I was just gonna say. The fact that LeBron would even think about LeBron would have to have all of the Banana Boat crew here, ready to go. He'd have to have the key to the city. He would have to have Michael Jordan come out and say, LeBron, you're better than me. And then take down the statue before he even thought about him coming here.
Right.
That's like...
We got carried away.
Yeah, we really did.
We really got carried away.
But LeBron pisses me off because he's the puppet guy behind who waits, and then he blows up and wherever he goes. And then it gets followed crazily by 4-letter networks that piss me off each morning.
You take him in a heartbeat, though, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
All right. Yeah, but the 4-letter network pissed me off, too.
That makes me a contender. Who's gonna beat me in the East if I have LeBron James?
Yeah, nobody.
Anyway,
so moving on from our NBA Bulls talk, we got a little carried away with that. You get hyped up sometimes, man. You start throwing your arms up.
Well, we had like
a
20-minute intro today too. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, well, we're having a good time. If we don't hit some stuff, we don't hit some stuff. Whatever. But going into one segment I want to bring up before we hit
MLB Roundup.
MLB Roundup here is the Outcast of the Week. This is something that's new.
And this will be fun.
Just wanted to introduce this real quick, and I know you saw it. I sent you the clip. Chris Webber, you are now the Outcast of the Week for saying that Jalen Rose needed to talk about you in the Fab Five to further his career. Hi, Jalen Rose has a show on ESPN every morning, even though ESPN sucks. I do enjoy Jalen Rose, though, because you know what, man? He tries, man.
I like
and
Jalen.
He's good. I like Jalen. Chris, listen, he doesn't need you to further his career. He doesn't need the Fab Five to further his career. Jalen has built a excellent career outside of his NBA career, and he's fine. I think it's you who needs to stop living in the past with the Fab Five and calling that infamous timeout. You are in NBA 2K, so you got that going for you. You're on TNT. You're not. Listen, man, you're a good guy too, but don't make dumbass comments using you to further his career, because that is just not the case. So you are my and Juice's pick for the Outcast of the Week.
So I'm gonna wait. Timeout. Oh, I don't have any. Chris Webber. The fact that you're going to come out and say that Jalen Rose hasn't made his own career. He played in the NBA right next to you. He was with tons of teams. A very, very capable shooting guard in the NBA. You call that timeout, you have a great career. Obviously, you're infamous for that timeout. The fact that you're going to even call anybody out is asinine to me. Because when you look at asinine, S10,
S11,
when you look at Chris Webber, you're doing the same stuff that Jalen's doing. You're on the television talking about basketball. Your after career, man. What makes you better than Jalen?
It's the same thing.
What makes you better than? And how are you gonna say that Chris Webber, who you haven't talked to Jalen in forever,
right? That's what he said. They have no relationship.
Is gonna say that you got him there?
Yeah.
When the only questions I've ever heard Jalen talk about, and obviously in that ESPN documentary,
which was a fantastic documentary.
He talks about Chris as a brother, and feels for Chris and wishes Chris could actually come by
and get over it
with them, and they could all be brothers again. Because that's the most tragic part of the Fab Five, and that's why I love that documentary.
It's a good one.
It's the fact that those guys were so close together.
If anybody harbors it, it's Chris Webber.
Well, this is the thing. They were so close together. They were all brothers. They talk about each other as brothers. And they were under the microscope, too, because they wore the baggy shorts, because they decided, essentially, they're the first college super team to be like all freshmen deciding, hey, let's all play together.
Yeah.
And they're the beginning of the they're the beginning of the AAU kind of generation when it comes to playing basketball.
Yep.
They're underneath this huge microscope. And the fact that a brother who on ESPN, who you can't seem to reach out to because you screwed up and took money from some other booster, and you called the timeout that didn't get them a championship. Well, let's say that who even knows if they win that, because they had the ball, they were down 1. But who's to say that they actually score in that possession? North Carolina, while everybody dogs that team, they were no slouch either. So, hey, Chris, grow up, dude. At the end of the day, you and Jalen do the same work. You do the same thing. You both made it because you guys were a part of the Fab Five. I mean, your careers were... Obviously, Chris had a better career than Jalen did. But Chris Webber's career, to me, it's good, but it doesn't... I mean, is it anything that makes you think he should be a billion miles above Jalen?
No, it's not.
No.
And the thing is, that's why I chose him as the Outcast of the Week. Stay humble, stay grounded, realize friendships are more important than stupid-ass beefs.
And that's why we're here.
So, let that shit go, man. It's stupid. But you can join us as being Outcasts. You're the Outcast of the Week. Getting into our favorite part of the show. Man, right? At least right now. You know, Juice and I get excited no matter what kind of sports are going on. Like, we're Bears, Bulls, you know, whatever. MLB Roundup, man. MLB Roundup. Couple things I want to touch on. I'm not going to stay super quick because we got our brothers Pinwheels and Ivy. I just did want to share my opinions. Something upsetting me is Yohan Moncada and Tim Anderson's defensive struggles. They both lead for second baseman and shortstops with errors.
At least they're both hitting, though.
Well, they're starting to. Tim Anderson's starting to.
I think
Yohan's finally starting to get his groove a little bit back.
Right. And I think this is the Yohan Moncada moment that you have as a White Sox fan, where you can grasp and say he's figuring it out.
Yeah, he's figuring it out. I like my kind of
he's laying off bad pitches. He's hitting mistakes real hard, and obviously that comes with being in a groove.
But
if I were a White Sox fan, every single game this week, and I'm watching because I want to watch Yohan swing the bat because he's locked in, and this is what you're going to get when he's locked in.
Right.
For the rest of his career.
So, 3 errors in 3 games, 2 in the game last week,
right.
And then one. What was it, yesterday or 2 days ago? Whatever. He had an error, and it caused to be
today,
detrimental.
right?
No, he did not. That was last night. You're thinking.
That was last night.
That was detrimental. Tim Anderson was having the same problems. Again, I think it comes down to managing. We'll see what happens, when it happens, how it happens. But with these guys, stay optimistic, Sox fans, because I'll tell you something right now. We might suck, but I'm having the most fun as a White Sox fan since 2005 right now. The same thing with the Bulls. We picked a lane, goddammit, and we're sticking to the goddamn lane. It's like I'm on Pluto, man. I'm finally excited about something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not on the earth where the White Sox are just the White Sox and they're overpaying for has-beens or they're overpaying for people that did this or did that. We have youth. We're doing some cool things, man, and just chill out. And then another thing, Dane Dunning getting hurt. Thank God he avoided elbow surgery. He's just going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. Thank God. And, he's been kicking ass, and he's been taking names. So just be on the lookout for that, guys. If you're just a White Sox fan, you don't really know the minors, check out Dane Dunning. Fantastic. Check out a lot of Emmett McLean's articles on Sports Mockery. He's always diving in deep to that kind of shit. So you got to check that out. Also, my articles or whatever, and then listen to. I don't like plugging myself. I hate it.
Should though.
That sounded lame. Plugging myself.
Yeah.
A little intentional walk to a Brady there, huh? But yeah. So just check that stuff out. Our Winston Salem scored I can't remember what the runs were. I think it was like 15 or 16 runs in a game just last week, which was like our farm system is awesome.
Yeah, you guys are going to win the championship.
And it's super fun. It's super fun to watch. And then one more thing to bring up about the Sox. Trading big games, James. I want you guys to throw ideas at us on why we would trade James Shields. Obviously, we know why. We can get something for him. The last 11 starts before the last one, he went 6 innings straight. Yesterday, he pitched a hell of a game. Yesterday. So, what would you guys want for James Shields? Top prospect, someone in the top 50, right outside the top 50. How would we want to do this? Even a top 100, which is fantastic too. Trading big games, James, is something that needs to happen now. It's time to put the ball in Ronaldo Lopez's hands, into Lucas Giolito's, Carlos Rodon's hands. And you know what we're witnessing right now as we record this, right?
What?
We're witnessing a no-hitter.
Interesting.
Lucas Giolito.
I did not know that.
Yeah, we're witnessing a no-hitter right now.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Pretty exciting. Here. But we went so long on the basketball. I had to rush through the baseball.
And honestly, like, the more interesting side of the town right now has been the struggles on the north side. So I can.
Oh yeah, dive in. Say what you got to say.
It's been crazy. This last week, they get swept by the Reds.
Can I ask you one thing real quick about that?
Mm-hmm.
Did you read the article from SI that came out about Sammy, or did you want me to give you that magazine? Because I still don't have it yet.
I read it, but I can.
Do you want the magazine?
Yeah, why not?
Well, I give you all the Cubs ones.
I know.
All right.
Why not?
Okay, so go ahead and do what you got to do.
So first, I'm going to dive in on you soft man Darvish, who I'm tired.
Chris is gonna love
that
you.
one.
Yeah, he's gonna love you right now.
I've defended you in the past, but I can't anymore. I just can't sit on the sidelines while he pushes his bullpen session back yet again after feeling soreness. And this article comes out because obviously the Cubs are playing against LA, and they're struggling to obviously A, win ball games, and B, Yu Darvish is on the DL. So they're trying to get some information on you, and this article comes out that talks about how you had the idea of retiring from baseball after him getting after the beginning of the Texas Rangers before he got traded, and then he goes to the Dodgers and has a good second half of the season, gets to the playoffs, World Series, gets shelled in the World Series. Dude, to me, you may be hurt, and he probably is hurt, and that's very unfortunate and unfortunate timing. But the fact that, to me, this kid has done nothing but show that he is soft and unable to handle this media and the scrutiny that came with his performance in Game 7 of the World Series scares the shit out of me. Because, as we know, the Chicago media is one of the most brutal group of fans between, especially Cubs fans, because based on what happened in 2016, when the Cubs essentially were the best team in baseball the whole way through, get to the World Series, obviously fall down 3-1 to the Indians, and they come back and they win the World Series in dramatic fashion, win it, and save themselves against themselves essentially with the way Joe Madden managed that game. To me, the Cub fans have just a huge group of Cub fans in general have this unrealistic idea of what baseball is after 2016. Baseball is hard.
Did you say Cubs fans?
Yeah, well, a lot of fans have.
Come on, man.
Chicago fans in general.
I'm going to tell you something right now. Cubs fans, and I'm a Southside fan, through and goddamn through, and everybody knows that about me here. And, if we're going to run a little bit over today, we're going to run a little bit over.
Don't care.
I don't give a shit. I ain't got to be anywhere till 5. But what pisses me off about this whole baseball shit, to be honest with you, I have to care about the North Side now, is because we're doing what we're doing.
Right.
I want to be fluent. I want to be articulate. I want to be right about what I'm talking about.
And I'm in the same boat as you watching
exactly.
the White Sox.
What pisses me off about fans in general about this, you were patient in a rebuild. John Brooks, shout out Brooksies. You were patient about this. I'm sure Aldo, I'm sure those guys that are writing Cubs Beat for Sports Mockery were patient. I didn't hear anybody talking dumb shit.
It was really tough, and you guys are going through it now. Obviously, you're watching Pelka, and Pelka's been really good recently.
Oh, yeah, he hits the count of the ball.
But, I mean, you got guys on that, what was it, Navarez? What's his name?
Omar Navarez, you want his jersey.
Right, that's my guy. You got guys like
Kevin
Omar
Smith.
Navarez.
He's not playing it, it's Smith.
You got Omar Navarez on your squad. It's my Michael Hoffpower. You know, like, at the end of the day,
it's just the
tough,
fan
and
thing
we were
that you
patient.
said pisses me off
but
because
these
they're
Cub
impatient because they don't understand.
No, they just think that baseball is so easy.
You want to fire a manager that went to 3 straight NLCSs and won a World Series. You're an asshole. Period.
And this kind of goes back to
Am I wrong or am I right?
No, you're right. Because Cub fans in general, and us since the World Series,
Chicago fans, dude.
Well, I see it more. Obviously, it's in the spotlight as of right now.
Off.
Because on the South Side we have a rebuild, and obviously your games matter in the source of like wins and losses, but you're not really contending for a division.
No, we're not contending for anything.
You're hoping to see.
We're watching
some
development,
growth. Right? So, Cub fans in general need to just take a step back and realize the fact that A, baseball is really, really hard. B, the Cubs are pretty injured right now. If you look around the diamond, they started Happ at first because they needed to give Rizzo a day off. They had Javi at third because Chris Bryant has the shoulder issue, which to me scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, that's
because
a podcast
he hasn't hit a home
that
run.
Might be a live video.
He hasn't hit a home run in a long time, and I will definitely go live to talk about that. Hopefully within the next couple of days, maybe even later today.
Ooh,
but
Jesus.
It scares the hell out of me, and I just fear for you, Darvish, because if he is this soft, and I can see that he's this soft, the media in the Chicago market may just eat this guy alive.
You know, if that's the case, if he is listen.
And as a fan, see, I'm like through the fans' eyes right now, not podcasting, trying to be what's going to happen. I'm hoping that he can come back, show me 6 innings of 1-run ball his next start, and then all of it goes away. And then he's able to but what scares me is if he comes out and he gives up a bunch of runs in the first inning, he gets, let's say he is in Chicago, he gets booed off the mound, this kid may check out. Again, because he's that soft. And
I get it, man, but again, at the end of the day, we're all human beings, even him.
Right, no. Nobody thinks that way, though.
Yeah, but
fans don't.
They should think that way.
And I understand. We think that way because we understand that these guys, they're not just ball players. Right. Think about you, Darvish. He signs a huge deal in the offseason.
Right.
And I know this is Japanese culture. They feel like they need to pay back
the
worth of what they're being paid. So he feels.
If you remember that interview from Ichiro years ago, he said the same shit.
Right. So to me, it sucks because I feel like he feels bad of how this has all gone because he was paid so much, and it sucks to see that like he's struggled and he's been hurt. But Cub fans, if I being a Cub fan, I've decided I am only grading him on his year by what he does in the second half. Because he's going to get a start before that second half. He's going to get some rest. And what he does in the second half for me is what I paid that contract for. Because the Cubs are going to make the playoffs. They're going to be at least in a one-game playoff, if not run down. They're only 2.5 back of Milwaukee with how bad they've played over the last week. They're going to get in, and you're going to need Yu Darvish based on what you've seen from Kyle Hendricks and Jose Quintana in the last couple weeks. So it's going to be tough. I fear for his.
I fear for his psyche. It's a toss-up. You know, whatever happens, happens. Of course, I'm a diehard sports fan and stuff like that, but I understand at the end of the day, too, this is a game. I know you get paid millions of dollars, but millions of dollars don't help your psyche, man. You know, like.
No, that only hurts. Some people are just not made to be in the spotlight.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
And I feel like he was blessed with an awesome arm, and obviously he worked at his craft, but hey, don't run this kid out of Chicago because he is soft. And I'll admit it. He's not bulletproof. You know, and everybody's talking about Jake Arrieta. Yeah, Jake had that psyche, but I would, even with the contract, him being soft, you can't give Jake Arrieta the money you gave Yu Darvish. You just can't because you're going to see a huge fall off. So I'm going to translate into transition.
The last MLB Roundup topic. Go ahead and get it, buddy.
Well, I'm not even going to talk about Sammy Sosa this week.
No, we'll hit that.
We'll move that for next week.
I want you to read that. I want you to get that magazine.
I'll talk about John Lester and how, to me, John Lester he's building his Cy Young Award candidate or resume. If you look at John, I just wonder where the Cubs are without his starts. Through 16 starts, 10-2, 2.18, 95 innings pitched, which the Cubs have struggled with getting starters deep into games. John Lester, in his last few...
He hasn't been that guy.
He hasn't been that guy. Obviously, his strikeout numbers are probably down for what you're really looking for from a starting pitcher, but that's not John anymore.
You can live with a 2.1 ERA.
That's not John anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
He doesn't need to be.
The only person, to me, that is above above John Lester right now is Max Scherzer. And he's a freak, and he wins the award every year. So... to me, John Lester going to be in the Cy Young conversation. I'm really hoping that this guy wins 20 games because with the way that he went out last year and really kind of struggled, this has just been a testament to how great he's been over his career. I think he's worked really hard to be obviously a cancer survivor, great guy, great clubhouse guy. Theo, when they were starting the rebuild, brought John over to be the guy, and he's been nothing short of the guy. You know, he's been, give me the ball and get me through. I mean, they handed him the ball in 2016, and he got, to me, obviously, Chapman gives up the home run, but the most stressful outs of the game were through that middle innings, and it gave them a shot. So, John Lester, hats off to you, my man. Going out there, building your Cy Young Award candidate resume. I really hope that he has a good second half and wins it, because he deserves it. He's had a hell of a year.
You know what, dude? I 100% agree. He's had a hell of a year, and he's the one pitcher in Chicago Cubs, with the Chicago Cubs right now that you don't hear about. Just bullshit.
But that's the cool, dude. The cool thing is he is so calm and collective that you just don't hear about.
What a great
you just know what to get
back in the day for him.
You just know what you're getting.
Exactly.
He competes every time. He's like, oh, the Twins got a hit.
Oh, yeah. Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. Whatever. That's fine. Hello. All right, here we go. We're gonna move into the. We're moving into our Blackhawks talk here. This is the first time
for the Hawks
on this show that we've been implementing that. Not because we don't care about it, not because we don't know about it, just nothing's hot. But we're going to talk about it. So check it out. With the 8th pick in the draft, we took Adam Bachquist. He's a right-handed defensiveman. He's 17 years old. He has elite skills on the offensive end as well, which is fantastic. He draws comparisons to Erik Karlsson. It was a good pick with what's going on with the Blackhawks in general on the defensive end. Our boy, our buddy, our blood. He's not really our blood, but he is our blood. Certified Tony G at Certified Tony G.
Yep, give him a follow. Read some of his
please.
stuff. He's very dedicated to his Hawks articles. Probably puts one out at least one. Seems like it's like once every day.
Every hour.
Yeah. So yeah, he very knowledgeable when it comes to his Hawks talk. I was happy with the pick because the Blackhawks desperately needed a right-handed shooting defenseman, and I think this kid is going to just fit right into the Swedish connection that we have going on in the back end. Gets pucks to the net, dynamic. He's going to be a guy you could plug and place at that maybe top line.
It's time to get younger. Too.
Yeah,
and
when
that's
you look
the
at
thing.
that right.
We won. Listen, it's right behind us here, man. Look at that. 2010, 13, 15. Dynasty shit. It's time to get younger, replenish your team with young talent. Is he going to play right away? No. He's not going to be wearing a Blackhawks sweater right away, guys. But he will be there eventually, and this could have the potential to be an elite talent for our team.
To me, too, and this kind of translates into the next pick that they took.
Go ahead, bring him in.
I think that them picking two defensemen, Nicholas Bowden, I think that's how you pronounce it. Them getting young defensively is good because it hides the fact that they have these question marks around Corey Crawford for the future. So if they can get better defensively and have above average goaltending, if it's Crawford, great. If it's not,
whatever.
Okay, whatever. But I think that
it starts with the guys in front of your goalie.
It does. It really does. And we've seen that time and time again that goalies have up and down years. They come in and out. And to me, the mainstay of what made a lot of these guys great is the fact that Corey Crawford and your Scott Darlings and your Anthony Niemis had guys like Seabrook, who in his prime was a great defenseman, like Keith, who was a freak, one of the best defensemen we've seen in Chicago, going to be a Hall of Famer. Those guys, you're obviously your Nicholas Hjalmarssons, you can go on and on with your list, but the fact that these guys,
Brent Sopel,
yes,
yeah, goddamn.
But the fact that these guys have, they had those guys in front of them, made, suspect goaltending better. Obviously we've seen what happened to Darling. Anthony Niemi was next to nothing once he left the Blackhawks. Hadn't had a good. I think he had maybe one or two good years after post Blackhawks years with the Sharks. But going in, I just really don't. I really like the pick for the Blackhawks because they needed to shore up the back end. I think that they're going to find offense somewhere else.
Right. I think that both picks in the first round, being two defensive men, being these guys need to be here. They need to be developed. Obviously, you don't know what you're going to get. Obviously, with rookies, whatever, they're going to be developed. Both of them are good on the offensive end, and both of them are. The first pick, the hell, Bachquist. He is He's a lead on the offensive end, and that's what Tony's been telling us the whole time. He dives very deep. It's so hard to stay in tune with every minor league thing that's going on.
Right, that's why we got people for that.
Exactly, and you can check those people out at sportsmockery.com. But there's so many possibilities with Bachquist. He's going to be good on the offensive end. Bowden, he's a great defensive. He's got a big body. He can open up passing lanes. He can open up shooting lanes. That's the kind of guy he is.
And that's the other thing in this fast-paced NHL.
Almost spilled my beer. I did.
You did spill your beer. In this fast-paced NHL with all the speed forwards and these younger guys and a lot of these teams going to these speed lineups, you're going to need defensemen who can match up. And these guys, it seems like the Hawks got guys who could plug and place and be those guys of the future to compete on the younger side because, like you said, we need to get younger. You can't get older. You can't, and that's the thing too. You can't be dumping salary into the top half of what your cap is, because if you're paying $30 million a year to three players, you're cutting up a third of what you can spend. And the Blackhawks have been top heavy for so long, and obviously they had to pay a lot of these guys who won them the cup. But you got to start working some younger guys into it. And to me, if they go and they add a Tavares, that'd be great. Don't get me wrong. I would love it for the short term.
That's not happening.
But for the long term,
Right.
It's really going to screw you re-signing guys like DeBrincat, like Schmaltz, who have proved that they can play at the NHL level. And to me, depth wins in the NHL. If you could run 4 lines out there that can score, defend, you're going to win the
That
cup.
can do it all.
And that's what happened when we saw the Blackhawks dynasty. They were able to run 4 lines out there at any point in the game, and they didn't have to play this matchup bullshit that they have to now. So hopefully, the defense side of it, the back end gets better. The Blackhawks can start to get younger, build guys around Kane and Taves. That way, as these guys get older, they can have the young guys to come in and carry some of the load for them.
Well, let's hope they don't make a drastic decision and trade one Taves, because I've read articles about that.
Yeah, that's
a stupid article. I spilled beer.
I don't think the Blackhawks are.
So I'm going to let Juice Man run us in. So on YouTube, you're going to see me run away real quick. On iTunes, you won't. You just think I'm being silent. But I have to go get a paper towel before my wife kicks my ass. Here I go. Go ahead and lead us into the Bears stuff there, Juice.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about these Chicago Bears who were kind of snided this week from the NFL. The NFL Top 100 list comes out every year, and the Bears had nobody on the Top 100. We're going to dive into here and kind of talk about what this means for the team, but to me, this is a blessing in disguise. I think it's great the fact that the Bulls are unable, the Bears, my mistake, as he cleans up shit off his floor. The Bears have no top 100 players. Now, do I think that that's the truth? No, I don't. But that may add this extra motivation that they don't necessarily need it, because obviously we talked about Matt Nagy before, that he is the top of he's on top of getting these guys ready to go. But I think that no Bull or Bears being in the top 100 is great, because it's going to keep them more and more hungry. To me, Mitch Trubisky should look at this and go, okay, they don't think that I'm that good. I'm going to show them how good I am. And same thing with like Jordan Howard. To me, Jordan Howard should be in this top 100. There's no reason for it not
bullshit.
To be. There's no reason, because
yeah, that's BS, dude. And I'm going right with you on there. That was like when I saw Eric Lambert. Check him out, sportsmockery.com. Check him out on Twitter. Giolito's starting to get hurt here, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever.
Sorry, I broke off. But
good start.
That was a damn joke. Jordan Howard didn't make the top 100 NFL players. Come on, dude. Really?
Yeah, I didn't understand
Not one
that.
single Chicago. But that's the thing, man. If you guys remember when we introduced ourselves to you sports mockery fans that watch us and old fans already know this. We're not experts. We're not in the trenches. We're not any of that. We're Chicago fans. But goddamn it, one thing that we did say is that the East Coast, for some reason, and the West Coast are, they're the most
Mecca.
talked about. Chicago, the Midwest, is the Mecca.
Never gets its
And
its
it never
due.
gets its due. And it's BS that none of us, I understand Trubisky not making it, okay? I get it. I understand Tariq
that
Cohen
one, but
not making it. I get it. But Akeem Hicks?
Yeah, that's.
Eddie Jackson?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Jordan Howard? Are you joking me?
Adrian-
Danny Trevathan?
Adrian Amos.
Are you joking?
Do you see the season Adrian Amos had?
It's a
at
damn
safety?
joke.
It's a damn joke.
And I'm not just saying that because I'm a huge Bears fan and we're season ticket holders. That's not it. But if I'm a football fan and if you want to disagree with me, go to hell. The fact that none of those guys on our defensive end made it, and then Jordan Howard from our offensive end, who was a shining light for us, get out of here, dude. You don't know football. You're an idiot. I don't want to talk to you. And actually, you know what? I do want to talk to you. Call in.
What a great motivation, though, to be like, screw you. My 52-man roster is going to be the first 52 in the NFL list for next year.
53.
Whatever, 52. You don't count the kicker. Listeners, I am the one guy who says that I think that I'll go Skip Bayless right now, because I know me and Skip we share this opinion, which I know that's funny. Kicking shouldn't be in the NFL.
Oh no!
It's bullshit that a soccer player decides who wins an NFL game sometimes.
That is so.
See, just as soft as you, Darvish.
I don't agree with that comment at all.
Just as soft as you, Darvish, that a kicker comes up and
I spilled my
decides
beer,
the
man.
fact
I'm gonna
that-
get in trouble.
Yeah, you are.
But
But yeah, that's just good motivation for them to go into next season, and let's hope that the 52-man roster.
53.
No, there's no kicker.
Okay.
Actually, it'd be 51 then. See, I
So
got
the
that wrong.
punter's
The
out of there
punter
too?
don't count
Oh,
in.
okay.
Well, no. See, Pat O'Donnell is
He's
a
mega
beast.
punter.
He's a beast. That guy lifts more than me and you combined. He could out bench press me and you on both sides of the dumbbell.
I could out bench press him.
I don't think so.
I guarantee I could.
Where's Pat O'Donnell?
You see these guns?
This would
dude?
be a great video.
That's why I covered my arms in tattoos.
We're gonna
I
get
have no
Pat
muscles.
O'Donnell in the weight room, and we're gonna see if you could even.
I guarantee. I'll open bet him right now. If anybody knows Pat O'Donnell's Twitter or whatever, I guarantee I outlift Pat O'Donnell. I outbench his ass and I outrun his ass. Guaranteed. Put me on. All I need to do is drink a few of these and I become Superman.
You'll be eating a lot of peppers.
That wasn't a hot take though.
Oh, that's a real hot take.
Fine. Someone
That's the hottest of the hot takes.
Someone give this a Pat.
hand.
Fine.
That is hand on the stove hot
I don't
take.
give a fuck. Ooh, I don't give a. I don't care at all.
We'll edit that one out.
Yeah, I almost let it out. I did censor it at the end. I don't care. Someone give this Pat O'Donnell. I outrun him. I out bench press him. Okay, maybe not bench press. I outrun him for sure. And if whoever loses has to eat 2 jalapenos whole and has to drink. Okay, what's the drink to make it worse?
Like citrusy beer, or like
Citrusy beer
or like
or
a
orange juice?
like a lime, like a cherry, like a lime,
Like
cherry
a limeade kind of thing? You
Yeah.
talking? Yeah, I'm
that
down.
would really like, or just like straight lemon.
I guarantee he doesn't take this bet. You know why?
Why?
Because he's a punter.
Yeah, but he's a beast. You see him at the combine. He lifted more
You
than the
just
defensive
took
tackle.
2 freaking positions away for kicking. And now you're side with Pat O'Donnell. You don't think I could win?
He could lift.
You don't think I could win?
Okay, like if you were like against Cody Parkey, like yes, maybe I'd give you a shot to outbench Cody Parkey. But like Pat O'Donnell, I saw his combine was around ESPN.
Did you ever hear the Tanya Harding story
Of course.
when she hit Nancy Kerrigan?
Of course.
I am going to fuck Pat O'Donnell up before this.
Oh, my
So I
God.
win this immediately.
See,
You're gonna hear
okay.
Pat O'Donnell on the news. Why? You're gonna hear that on the news because I hit him in his damn knee. See, I can't do that though because I want the Bears to win.
Yes, you can't.
Fine,
As long
Pat.
as punting,
This is gonna be a fair deal.
as long as punting still is in the NFL, which I hate,
we need Pat O'Donnell.
we need Pat O'Donnell.
Whatever. All right. Well, that's gonna wrap up the show for
That was
today.
electric.
I think I could do the why by Nancy Kerrigan.
You're pretty good.
I can. Yeah. Why? You know,
You must have been hit like a couple times in the
yeah,
wake-up.
I've been hit a lot. And I ask why.
Did you see that real quick though? Before we lead up,
Yeah,
did you
what's up?
see that movie, that movie?
The Tanya Harding
The one
movie?
with the
Is it
one
on
with
Lifetime?
No, it's with the beautiful Margot Robbie.
Who's Margot Robbie?
She's the girl from Wolf of Wall Street. She's got the blonde hair.
Oh, is she what? She's a superhero movie.
She was in
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, she was. What's her face?
what? I don't watch.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
There we go.
Anybody who loves that kind of stuff, I'm sorry. I don't dig.
We did your 14th birthday at the movie theater though.
It was
Remember
15 for Batman Dark
that?
Knight.
I'm sorry, whatever. Close.
Did I plan that?
No, remember Jen did.
Yeah, Jen planned it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Batman. Don't get me. She got me Batman cake. She got me Dark Knight. But
I know,
that
right,
was
right.
that was more for like everybody. Like if it was my choice, July 21st, where are you gonna find me at? The Cell,
Okay. We did go to the self-read bachelor party. Though.
the G spot. But
The cell.
yeah, it's. But leading out, again, check us out on sportsmockery.com. Make sure you be reading all that stuff that we post, all of our articles. Let us know if you love it or hate it. Follow us at SM Outcasts. Follow the at Sportsmockery Twitter also. So you can follow us and our show at SM Outcasts, or you could just follow at Sportsmockery on Twitter. Be sure to check out Pinwheels and Ivy, which is our brethren who covers the MLB, more specifically the Chicago White Sox and the Chicago Cubs. You will be finding us now on the Sports Mockery YouTube instead of our own YouTube. You'll be
Yeah,
finding
so
us
if you're
at Sports
searching,
Mockery.
it's the Sports Mockery YouTube. Obviously, we will be retweeting that.
It's
and
already
tweeting
pinned
it
on our
out
Twitter.
We'll be doing it again too once the
Absolutely.
videos come out. So make sure you're following our SM Outcast Twitter, and we'll be able to get you that.
Right. Please subscribe to that too. Subscribe, like, and comment.
Absolutely.
You guys have been helping us out a million times with that, so just please keep doing it. Going down to iTunes, please drop us a 5-star rating and a comment down below on why you chose to listen to us. Same with Pinwheels. Same thing at Google Play, on Stitcher. Listen to us, give us a good rating, all that. You guys have been doing so great with that, and we appreciate it. We're gonna start doing some giveaways here. We're gonna start doing some giveaways. We're gonna figure out how to judge it. But if we can get this Sports Mockery YouTube page up to about, we'll say, 2,000, get another 500, 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. we will personally give away a T-shirt, jersey of your choosing, and or jersey, whatever.
Look at that. Can we win?
Yeah, we can. we can rig it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we can.
No, we won't rig it.
I might. But yeah. So make sure you follow us on all the sorts of platforms. Thank you guys for watching so much. We're gonna take off for this week. We will be live on Twitter. You know, when amazing, cool stuff happens, and that'll be about it for us. But as episode 3 for Sports Mockery wraps off the air for the Outcast, I am Buzz. Got a man juice to my left.
Juice man.
We will be back next week with hot news, hot takes, hot pies.
Have a good weekend.
Later.
Go to Sports Mockery for Chicago sports news and commentary from those who know it best, the fans.